Yeah. So I have pictures. I'll show you the pictures on my hard disk. But that was always my heart. So as I served the industry, one of the things I realized is that people really struggled because there was no distribution. Mm-hmm. So gospel artists, when they came for interviews at our office, would always say, Kuria Bana, do something, help us. And it was in that season that I began to ask myself questions about distribution. So I set up a little stand and people brought their music and we'd always sell their music.
Yes.
And they'd be like, you guys can help us crack this distribution thing. And what we decided to do is we thought, let's set up stores around the country. Was the first thing. At the time, there were a couple of people who had stores. There was David McCully. He had, what was it called? Sounds of Africa. I don't remember what it was called.
Sound of Africa.
Sound of Africa.
Yeah, that was his company.
Yeah, so
he'd be inside Nakumatt and things like that.
Yes, absolutely. So I remember going to Capital Center and there was a Sound of Africa there. So David McCully was selling music. Kijiji was trying, but the model that they had was a delivery model. Mm. So it was like a Uber Eats type thing. Call us and we'll bring it to you type thing. I went down to Kasanga, because Kasanga was the only guy who had shops around the country at the time. Mm-hmm. Kasanga Music Store. I even went to River Road and found a Nduti one-stop shop. Guys from River Road will know Nduti. And I took a look at the model. And the more I thought about it, the more I thought this model will not work.
Yeah.
I thought there must be a simpler, cheaper model. And it was in that season that we envisioned a website for distribution of music called Pewahewa.com.
Yep, Pewahewa.com.
Pewahewa.com was going to be the goose that lays the golden egg. Mm-hmm. That's how I pitched it to my partners to get them on board. I was like, guys, this thing is ready. Do you know, Richie, Pewahewa.com was the first or second, I think the first website globally to sell consumer products using mobile money.
Yep.
Nobody had done it.
Yep.
In fact, it was such a phenomenon when we launched Pewahewa.com, because at that time we were doing, buy music using MPESA and Zap.
Exactly, Zap. Yeah.
Zap was Zain.
Yeah.
And nobody was doing it. We got so much press, both locally and internationally, for Pewahewa.com. I was on every TV station, every radio station, every newspaper to talk about these guys are now selling music online. And you can, there was Amazon.
You could buy it with M-Pesa.
But you could buy it with M-Pesa.
With mobile money.
With mobile money. Mm. Do you know I was invited to the Global Mobile Money Conference in Dubai.
What?
To go and speak about Pewahewa and about what we are doing. And do you know who was speaking immediately after me on the program?
Who?
Michael Joseph.
No way.
Here I am, this little kid. I just have an idea.
So did you go?
I didn't raise the funds.
Okay, and they thought you were.
A couple of things. I was also in a transitionary life season as well. Okay. Family-wise, work-wise. So I didn't actually go. But we had been invited to this conference. And so the idea was you go, just like, people understand the concept now. Yeah. You go on, you put your music in the cart. There's a thing you do. The press came for we did a launch at the Stanley. I think you were at the launch. You were at the launch, you were at the launch. And
in fact, you even recruited me.
Yeah, but the thing about Pewahewa, again, like Moafrica.com, is we were completely ahead of our time.
Yeah.
The teething problems we had with M-PESA and integration of systems, it was hard. It took us a while to kind of get and I remember I used to do customer service for Pewahewa.
Yeah.
I decided to do it myself so that I give guys a good product. And you could go onto the website anytime and you just click, boop, I need some help with this. And either I or one of my guys would type back and do it. Nobody locally was doing anything like that.
Yep.
And man, it was such a phenomenon. But here's the thing about business, Richie, and right? Chocha, guys will come and tell you, do this thing, we'll buy your music, you know what I mean? Like, this thing will be such a big hit. We got so much press, but sold such little music. Our friends would go on and buy music and then send me a message and say, I bought music off your site. And at the time we were working with MCSK.
I was going to get there, yeah.
We were working with MCSK, with Morris, he was the MD at MCSK then, or the ED. And so they gave us their entire catalog. Let me tell you, I had just anything you can think of. Daudi Kabak. It wasn't a gospel site.
Yes.
Anything.
It was Kenyan music.
It was Kenyan music. So
Pewahewa.
I had Benga from back in the day. You know what I mean? I had Zouk from back in the day. I had gospel music. I had secular music. For example, I'm getting into beef with Nonini once because I did a review.
Yeah.
I did a review of one of his songs and he sent me a couple of F-bombs. As a result, we were all young and stupid. But we had this huge catalog.
The challenge of going the MCSK route. I know because Kuria, I don't think you remember, but you actually hired me. Not hired me, but we partnered.
We did.
In a sense where I could go, because I had a huge artist network.
Yeah.
And I was an artist.
Yeah.
And I was interested in distribution. So I'd go and collect music from them. And I'll never...
Oh yeah, I remember that very clearly. Yeah.
So but part of the challenge...
That was your payment for performing at my gig. I'm the one who introduced you to the world, my guy.
Part of the challenges of going the MCSK route, and not to bring in the dramas of the MCSK, was just that whole mechanical rights. I'll never forget Zidi. Zidi calling me and saying, how is our song? Because everyone I'd called all these guys for their music. Why are we on Pewahewa?
I mean, I don't deny there were concerns. I was very green behind the ears back then. I didn't understand. All I knew is MCSK called me and said, there's a partnership, we'll give you all our music. And I was like, I don't have to call all the artists.
Sweet.
Like, this library has been open to me. So, I mean, I do admit that there was some concerns, legitimate concerns there, because I got a lot of those calls as well. But the reality is that people just didn't buy music. And that was very disappointing.
That was the core.
That was very disappointing for us because we put in all our resources, all our energy into this thing. I mean, in hindsight, and I always say hindsight is 2020. We could have done some things differently. But then
the pioneer.
You know, we had this really good season, but we just unable to sustain Pewahewa. And it was when I look back, one of the regrets of my life, I think, is that we probably should have knocked on a few more doors, looked for more partnerships, and just stuck in there. Because the thing about business, man, is you kind of have to put your hand to the plow and not look back. You just say, we are doing this thing.
But that takes another kind
But I think after doing Mafrika for 4 or 5 years and funding it and then doing Pewahewa, I didn't, and then at the time I was getting into
church ministry,
but also artist management.
In fact,
at the time.
Hold it right there. Let me change a battery. When we come back,
sure thing.
We're going to continue. We're going to enter now this whole artist management because people just need to. Anyway, we'll enter this whole artist management story.
Sure thing.